According to a recent study of internal medicine, older adults are seeing more medical specialists than ever before and are twice as likely to see a specialist when compared to their primary care physician. So joining us now to discuss this is a family medicine specialist with WellMed and Optum, Dr. Audrey Baria. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is so interesting. Is it a problem that people are seeing these specialists over their primary care doctors?
It's really not that it's a problem. It's just that they need to have the coordination of care with their primary care physician. And it's so important because you don't want to be in a situation where your primary care doctor doesn't know what the specialist is doing. You might inadvertently wind up being given the medication twice by two different people and wind up taking extra dosages of medications that you shouldn't be taking extra dosages of.
Ah, that's a good point. I would not have thought of that. And so, what are some common mistakes people are making when choosing a medical specialist?
One of the most common mistakes that people make is that they talk to their friends and families to see who they are seeing as their specialists and not taking into account that maybe their insurance doesn't cover that specialist. So, that is another reason that it's so important to discuss seeing specialists with your primary care providers.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that actually because that happened to me. I had somebody refer a doctor and I asked, "Do you take my insurance?" And they said, "Nope." And I said, "All right, back to square one." So let's talk about the when folks should see a specialist.
You know, when you have a chronic condition or a new diagnosis, that would be the perfect opportunity for you to discuss with your primary care physician if you should see a specialist. And let me give you an example of when the coordination of care came in so handy. I had a patient that I was seeing, and I had to do an EKG on them. And I did the EKG, and I was very concerned. And I called up the cardiologist that I normally refer my patients to. And I said, "Listen, I'm very worried. Can you see this patient?" And they were very accommodating. And let me tell you, this is the one off. I don't normally call the cardiologist to get my patients in, but if the cardiologist is getting a phone call from me, they know that there's a sense of urgency on my part. And they were able to see this patient the next day. So that was a beautifully coordinated care.
Yeah, that makes total sense actually. So where can we go for more information?
For more information, carewithresults.com would be a great resource.
All right, awesome. Well, it was such a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And everyone at home, if you'd like to see this interview again, you can head to First Coast News Plus.